I want to prepare you because it's going to get dicey. This is Rachel Maddow as we got results in on Iowa Watch.
The big picture takeaway from that, and I don't mean to be, again, too dark, as you said, on this, but it is not, if we are worried about the rise of authoritarianism in this country, we are worried about potential rise of fascism in this country, if we're worried about our democracy falling to an authoritarian and potentially fascist form of government, the leader who is trying to do that is part of that equation. But people wanting that is a much bigger part of that equation. Right. And the American electorate is made up of two major parties. One of those parties has been flirting with extremism on the ultra-right for a very long time. They've brought them in a way that they haven't been central to Republican electoral politics ever before, and I know because I've been studying this. But once you have radicalized one major party so that those are the preferences of the people who adhere to your party, the leader is interchangeable. And yes, Trumpism is sometimes what we call it. MAGA movement is probably a better way to do it. But there is an authoritarian movement inside Republican politics.
Did nobody watch that speech down in South Carolina? Like, you want to talk about extreme? What I heard from Joe Biden was pretty darn extreme, okay, ladies and gentlemen? What I heard was really, really, really just darn divisive. What I've heard from Donald Trump, it feels like Disney World back in the day when Disney World was Disney World compared to what we're hearing out of Joe Biden's mouth. I mean, he's figured out that his Bidenomics, I don't know if he's figured out that it hasn't worked, but I'm going to tell you, you know it hasn't worked, and America knows it hasn't worked. And so his advisors are like, okay, we can't keep talking about how great the economy is because nobody feels it. Everybody knows your Bidenomics policy has not worked. So you're going to do something else. What do you think Barack Obama going there to Pennsylvania Avenue and having that lunch that got reported on by the Washington Post? What was that all about? It was to tell him, listen, the stakes are high, buddy. You got to go back to the well. Divide, 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 divide. And so that speech in South Carolina, it was all about division. Meanwhile, you want to talk about authoritarian, what you can say, what you can't say. Let's be very clear. Like, there was one side that could say whatever it wanted for so long. The other side still can barely say it, right? I mean, what do you think that happened with the whole Hunter Biden laptop? You had 51X spooks and political hacks come out and tell you, not true. This is misinformation fed to us courtesy of the Russians and Rudy Giuliani. Right? Except that actually it was true. And so that was a direct attempt to shut down the point of view that they didn't agree with. And they were using like the former deputy director at the CIA to help them do it. I mean, you want to talk authoritarian? Give me a break.